Good night, everybody. Welcome to a very special episode of FGC TT podcast number 11. We're going to be talking about a couple things tonight. We won't be running too long, but the more pressing things going on in the community right now. We have a community sweat that's coming up in just 7 days, next
Oh
week Sunday.
yes.
Looking forward to that. Hopefully, it'll run really well and we'll have more in the future. And I want to talk to uh, some of the players in the community right now. Some of the more top players and the more up and coming players. It seems to be a little bit of a misconception when it comes to training for tournaments and any high profile matchups in general. And we want to address how do you train and how should you train? That's a couple things. Um, we have a little mix up cast tonight. Some of the usual heads and some new heads. We have a Banana Man. Banana Man, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. My name is Miguel. Most people in the community would know me as Dog. So, if you don't know that, you're really young.
Oh, wow. Alright, we also old school gamers, yeah.
Yeah.
And our returning guest was Mr. Keegan Bruce.
I have returned.
Yes, I know. As well as the usual heads, Mr. Joey GROFF,
Mm.
RB,
Yo.
Mark Anthony,
Oh,
and myself, Brad. And we're gonna have some more guests joining us as the night goes on. Everybody couldn't make it at the same time, but we're gonna be popping in and out, so should be fun tonight. First thing we want to get through. What do you want to talk about first? Anybody want to touch on the community sweat or jumping straight
Yeah.
into the channel?
we just had a mortal tournament finish about 2 hours ago though.
Really?
Online mortal tournament. Yep.
Okay. How did that go?
Gruff streamed it. It was 8 people, like mostly from the mortal group.
Uh huh.
Yes, mostly like a little thing that we do just to while up each other because we have a very huge patch coming tomorrow. So we're just trying to keep the hype there still and keep the
Nice.
competitiveness within mortal still going on because it had some real. Actually, some of the matches was real grudge matches, to be honest. To name a few, Answer versus Lyndon.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did that go?
Well, yeah, Lyndon won that. But
Okay.
it was a big hype towards seeing them fight each other.
All right. Well, we could use this to segue into the topic of training. All right. You entered as well, right?
Yeah, I did.
All right. So I want to hear from you. Like, how did you prepare for this one?
Well, to be honest, I didn't.
Mm.
Right? But in a general, normally, I would try to think about, no, this is definitely the wrong way to go about it. So I'm probably on that side, right?
Don't say that.
I just watch and try to predict who's coming and what are my worst matchups and men who I know could beat me, what I could do about it. So I could either go and watch videos on YouTube of these specific matchups, right? I will spam a rank just to get my fingers warm for the next day for some weird reason. And go in training more than 2 combos. But as I said, I accept that's the wrong way of doing it.
No,
But I just try to grind it out and just play a lot during the week till the tournament.
Okay.
And drink
No.
some alcohol before the tournament.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say it's necessarily wrong way to go about it. Like some of the things you do there are like things you should be doing. For example, doing combos in training mode is not bad. You know? It's keep your execution up and it's good practice. So combos become muscle memory and stuff like that.
Here's the warm up.
But one thing you said that is actually very good is like thinking ahead in the tournament, like who's gonna be there, like what characters they play, and like what you could do about that. You know? Like, anything you are uncomfortable with, like let's say a character has something that you're not familiar with or you don't know how to deal with, that should be your priority of like that is what you should be training to overcome.
Correct.
You know,
And
like
the fact that he said you actually check out the matchups is a really good idea
yeah.
too.
I think
Yeah.
a lot of people frown on that. They say like you're training on YouTube and you're a YouTube player, but
That is
I
how
don't
it works.
understand. Yeah, if YouTube was available back in the arcade days, I'm sure the arcade men would have used that as well. Like
YouTube back in the arcade days was Nintendo Powerhouse.
exactly
Nintendo Power magazines. That was YouTube long
cheat
time.
codes,
Yeah.
right? So see, I think a problem with the console players now when they're training is that they don't have the what's the word I'm looking for, but uh it's not as they don't have that much pressure on them when it comes to play and training and playing on console as opposed to the arcade where you had your one coin and that was it. Like, when you lose, you're done.
GG's.
Right? So
Yeah,
you don't have that frantic nature while you're
a,
playing.
a, a lot of the things that missing now too from the gaming that I find that should come back into it is like you see like how the community said bringing people face to face again, because
Yeah.
that face to face rivalry used to really bring you forward a little bit too.
Yeah.
So if it is you sweating against someone and you just have him probably online or wherever you know it's just like you're just talking to him, chatting to him online. But if it is that man standing up next to you, people watching you, people on
Hmm.
your back, you will try your best to do your best
Hmm.
at that last minute there. So even if it is you
Yeah.
don't know that matchup or you don't know that
Hmm.
that character per se that person playing with, right? You but you go find yourself doing some amazing things just to save faces.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just because all eyes on you and this,
Yeah,
you
that
don't want
was
to lose your money. You'll be surprised how fast you can adapt
true.
when the pressure on. And playing on like just playing at home and playing on console, you don't get that kind of pressure on you. You lose some online points so well. You can always get that back playing. You don't have that pressure on you that you have to adapt now or else. And this is something that I'm not gonna be ashamed to admit is like it kind of new to me as well. Like I only recently developed this kind of mentality when it comes to training for tournaments. It's like coming up with strategies for specific players and not just going into a match blindly. Like I'm not going into the match to learn. I'm already coming in with some knowledge and improving
True,
on it as the match goes on.
true, true, true.
So like and it's not only for top players, it's for anybody in general. Even for you, Keegan, I have like mental notes on your tendencies and like everybody else in community tendencies just from watching.
Mm,
And is like I'm not going into a tournament saying, no, I shit, I real bad, I can beat anybody, I don't need to practice for anybody.
mm.
You know, like I can
And
just adapt on the fly, like everybody I have mental notes on everybody and I know what to expect and I go in with
mm,
a plan. I think that is something people don't have. They don't go into matches with a plan.
true.
Yeah, I don't.
You see? Like,
I think like you see if it is a training and like you're trying to beat a particular character, a particular fighter,
mhm,
and just the mere fact that you taking that time to fight that one person,
mhm,
that mind game done already there. So it's up to you now to get back on him to be in his mind, get like play that
yeah,
mind game with him now.
Continue
So
the chess match.
yeah, so a lot of a long time when I used to play a lot, 80% of that match used to be a mind game. You
mhm,
stand up and I used to fight men with one hand, tell them, look, all right, don't jump.
mhm,
I hitting your three screw pile for the game. Them looking for three screw pile, but me already looking for that. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's like that head game.
yep,
I will tell you straight. Look, Groff there as my witness. I will tell Groff, look, I only throw in you.
mhm,
And book it. Most of my thing go be throwing you. You understand? I'll stand up and fight it anyhow you take it. But that just putting that fear in that man's head that
mhm,
all right, it's only throws he looking for, and here looking for that throw. It's just that, just that mind game, the game throw you off your game. A lot of people don't
yeah,
look at that aspect of it now because
mhm,
you're not next to the person, you're not talking to them, you can't see what their hands doing, you can't see if the man,
yeah,
you can't see if that man moving, if he's sweating. Sometimes I watch a man and just from the way how it is, he watching me. I don't
mhm,
know lah boy. Pressure on he already. So I just
mhm,
had to play gain he head a little more and I win. You understand?
yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense, but
No, I completely understand what you're saying because
yeah.
like I I noticed that when I playing against people who like that new to the games and new to the community and stuff, they already come in kind of like defeated. look at me like I on some pedestal, and they already
Yeah,
like they respect me too much. You know?
yeah,
So I get to do like I get to feed off of that respect and like abuse that and much.
yeah. You go abuse it because you go use it to your advantage. And
Yeah,
it's a tournament. We come here to make money. You
yeah.
understand? And I've entered tournaments. Women see me walking. When I walk in the arcade, fellas ask back for the money.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
You
Mm-hmm.
understand? Look, Groff there. I ain't lying. Groff a lying.
Okay.
Yeah, I ain't lying. Right? I walk in tournaments already. Right? And when I walk in and I pay my money registration, men ask back for the money.
Mm.
You understand?
I for
So
sure. Yeah.
I tell them, well, look, it ain't make no sense. I just come here to sweat. I give them the money, the well, at the time it was $20, $25 something,
Mm.
which was plenty money back then.
So
I
what
give
games
them
is that
back.
we talking about? Like
Like
what
Street Fighter, like Hyper.
hyper?
Yeah, Hyper playing Hyper, and when we used to play Killer and thing up in Arima, long
Mm-hmm.
time. You understand? Going thing, Hannah man, the money. When I looking for my receipt, fellas, man come and pull my side. He say, dog, here what going on? Pull out $20 in coin instead of playing just go and play some game or whatever, and we go line man. I say, well, nah, just keep the money, as to keep the sweat going, and just put it
Yeah.
towards the pot now. You go just chill out. I ain't
Mm.
lying. It happened. Plenty fellas around here can ask that fed up happened to me. You understand? That, I,
But
well,
I wanna hear from Mark. Like Mark, how do you go about training for tournaments?
Oh, I can't wait to hear this.
These days, like I don't really have the drive to like shift. Like I don't really like Street Fighter 5 that much now. So like compared to 4, like these days I just go and play rank matches. But like 4 I used to do a lot of since the game was very setup heavy, like Vortex heavy, and
Mm-hmm.
um I used to do a lot of like practice those setups a lot now, like sometimes even 6 hours and thing, right?
mm,
But like as time progressed and I started to get better, I started focus more on the footsies now, like what buttons beating what buttons, what
Mm-hmm.
can I with punishments here,
Like how you
and
go about finding out these things? Like, how
or
do you
like
go testing this?
sometimes I'll go in training mode or like say like to put both to put like to put me on the same like frame, the same frame advantage as the opponent, I'll like do a grab tech,
Mm-hmm.
like purposely have the dummy do a grab tech and mash whatever button after now. That's just me personally. That's how
Because
I
both of you all on zero.
yeah, both of you on 0 frames now.
Mm.
So for example like alright, Nikali crouch medium
Mm-hmm.
is blow up Chun-Li fierce and forward medium punch now.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to figure out a way how to beat it and with punish it now. So like I did the same thing what I said just now, and for Chun-Li I'll do like I eventually got through by doing back fierce now.
Mm-hmm.
And back fierce was able to work on I was able to with punish with sweep and EX legs now.
Okay.
So that was something recently. Like I didn't used to do those things in 4, but recently I started like I
So,
was like,
so it's like like setting a scenario and
yeah,
finding options to deal with that scenario. Like
yeah,
that's kind of what I wanted to talk about before. Like any situation you're uncomfortable with it while playing, you should try to find a way around that as soon as possible. Like you see
Tournament
how
news, that's what you're talking about.
no no tournament is
my
something that is
my
is
argument
always
with
there.
what you know say there,
mm,
Mm.
with new games, my argument with what you know say with new games is the factor of the nerf.
Mm.
Because all right, nerfing in games, right? That is
Uh-huh.
something that I absolutely hate, right?
Like
But like
different characters, man.
yeah, because here we're
Mm-hmm.
going on, right? I understand that certain games, certain characters and things have serious, well, OP, serious advantages over other characters with
Yeah.
certain moves, right?
mm,
But to me, the whole high point of that is finding out we are wrong it,
exactly. Like
right? And
Mm-hmm.
if it is you go back in the old school, like you go and play Turbo, this is the game, this is how it is, this is
Yeah.
everybody moves, you can't change that. Find a way around that shit. Sorry, right? You understand? You understand what I'm talking about,
see that way
right?
emotion, right?
No, 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 no. But this is
No, I understand. I
I see
understand.
it
I
in the
understand where you
school
come from.
games,
Yeah. Yeah,
I
I
hate new
understand.
school games for that fact.
Yeah.
And to that point, new school players. Because every week they go cry and bitch and cry and
Complain,
bitch and
yeah.
cry and bitch. Look, this I can't hit Ryu face punch. Okay. Ryu feet open. You didn't look at that. Hit his feet. Don't stand up and try to hit the punch. If a man
Yeah.
trying to coffee in your face in real. Move. You
Yeah.
understand? Don't
Like
look at it that
like for
next week they go bring a patch. Oh
like for
god, that
for
is kinda kill
example,
it.
like
Mm.
Chun-Li, right? So, even though I agree it should be nerfed, like her instant air kicks,
Mm.
like there's at least like some characters at least have 3 or 4 ways to deal with it now. Like it
Yeah.
could like for Ryu, for example, it could forward dash underneath it.
Hey.
You could parry it. You could do stand jab. You could DP it,
What
and
I
it,
realized in this game, like Street Fighter 5, you don't have to accept anything like that. Like it always have something you could do about things like that. Because like going into the same match with Chun-Li, like if something giving me trouble, like say the ALX is giving me trouble, like it didn't take long to find an answer for the ALX. You know, like although yes, it's a good tool, but I have at least 3 or 4 answers for it. You know, it's not. I'm not gonna sit down and complain about the move too good. I like go and do something about it. I try to get the read that yeah, he going for ALX now and blow it up. You know?
I
And
kind of
like,
disagree with continue, sorry.
no, you got. I want to listen.
No, I was gonna say that I kind of disagree with what Miguel's saying
You know,
because the nerfing thing. Because back in arcade days, we never used to get patches. We used to get new games, which was essentially patches.
You
For
say
the
yeah,
pardon? I didn't hear what you say.
no, I say back in the arcade days, we used
Uh-huh.
to get. We never used to get patches. We used to get new versions, which was basically patches
you be
But
like from hyper to
from
turbo and
hypo
yeah,
to
but that's a
super.
whole
And
different game. It's a whole
yeah.
new game you had to learn.
and
The whole
that's not like
dynamic.
every month, or that's like
No, that
every.
was like every 3 years or five
nope,
years or something.
nope,
So
nope. It
yeah,
was every year.
every year.
Every year. Just that when we get down here, it was a different story, but it come
All
out
right.
actually every year.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
well, I can't disagree with that. But the point is, that was a whole new game because you
Mhm.
can't tell me
We
World
fought.
Warrior and Champion Edition is the same game.
No,
You
Nah,
no.
it's
can't
not.
tell me Champion Edition and Turbo is the same game. You can't tell me Turbo and Super Turbo is the same game.
Yeah,
You
no.
understand?
No.
So that is totally irrelevant for as far as I'm concerned because it's a new game. It's
Mm,
not the same game, right?
I
If
understand.
if it tell me you take hyper fighting and you do like a rainbow edition with it. But all right, you're putting different shipping here you can do magic all over the place, spin kick in the air, whatever, right? That's from one thing to the next. But from hyper to super turbo, it's different game all entirely. So that can't be what it is now described it totally different.
No, it's not. Because all right, let me watch it like this. Right, they
All right.
introduce Street Fighter 4, not regular Street Fighter 4. Then they introduce Super Street Fighter 4. Some minor changes. So
Uh-huh.
like let me say, Street Fighter 4 was Street
Mhm.
Fighter 2.
Right.
Super was Championship Edition. Introduced some new characters. Blah blah
Right.
blah. By the time they reach Hyper, Hyper was 2012.
But,
And then,
but in vanilla, right?
Mhm.
In vanilla, it had 3 or 4 patch before it reached super.
Did it? I don't think so.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
It
I'm
had
not
it
sure.
had a couple of patches. In super, it had a couple of patches before it reached arcade. In
Like
arcade, it had a
balance
couple of patches
matches.
before it reached ultra.
No
know.
arcade,
No, I don't think they had balance patches
not balance patches.
in vanilla.
But they nerf characters and take away things from characters and
Like,
then they make
yeah.
ultra.
From each iteration to the next.
Each iteration,
Right. So
it come
it's
it
the
come at
same
the
thing I
same
was
time.
now saying. It
But
come
like,
down that
alright,
patch thing. I really don't like it.
but
And you can't.
what you see like that, you see the Street Fighter 4 into Super, and I don't mind like the time span, I don't mind that time span. But like some games like for MK, I was hearing like a different patch or for was what KI's move like that to RB.
Wait a minute.
Like
Oh,
Okay.
you
games
mean
that
like
constantly patch like anytime like I don't
yeah,
really
okay.
play these
This
It's
games,
one.
like
but
this little thing, yeah.
yeah, like every single time I hear about this game is a new balance patch are coming out now, and like I can't really handle that. Like every couple of months I go like
You know what game was really bad at that? I think it was MK9. MK9 that changes like right through. And like I
Yeah.
don't mind changes if stuff like too ridiculous. Like some things just need to like get out of the game. Just. Like I don't know if anybody's watched KF 14 now. Like
But I just see a little bit of that footage. Just ain't really started
Yeah,
sticking
no,
to it.
like it's have a character that like blazingly that's have several stupid stuff. Like she does safe on everything
Nakaru.
and yeah, Nakaru she does like safe on everything
Mm.
and invincible and everything. And, like it just don't belong in the game now. She need that toning down badly. But besides that, everything else pretty on the up and up. But like stuff like that you could fix, like stuff that game breaking like that. But
Mm.
you don't need to be changing like every little small thing now, you know. But some on the other hand, like I like balance changes in if it's done correctly, like not to tone down a character but to change the character
Not
in a
just to
sense
like
like
blatantly nerf the character.
yeah,
Just like add, if you're nerfing something, add something unique about the character too. No,
yeah,
but
like
not to that extent.
not to just tone down the character but just to change up the character. For example, like Blaze Blue, they have like every Blaze Blue game must have a second iteration and they change the character up. Like the character doesn't become stronger or weaker or anything like that. It's just they have like new combos and new specials and the moves act differently. You know?
But there's two sides of that story to it, Jay. Like,
Mm.
for example, like like all right, the people in Japan won't really have a problem with that now
Oh, crackhead.
because
What you seen?
Good night, guys.
oh
I'm
my
gonna
What
true.
go
happening?
cooking.
I know.
So like all right, the people in Japan, right? Like say Mikado arcade
Mhm.
arcade place, right? They wouldn't because they get any patch one time now. Like, but say somebody living in North America or the UK, them had to wait for that patch for months, and it's like
Yeah,
your character changing, and
yeah. On
so
that,
No.
but
yeah,
I understand where it
I
comes.
understand where you're coming from with that. Then,
yeah,
if it is you're going to a tournament and you bouncing up these characters, these people and them from other countries and thing, and they come in already with that knowledge, you kind of
yeah,
disadvantage to you too.
yeah. That's alright.
No? Mm.
Um, but like, if you need to make balance changes like that, I don't think they should like just nerf the character unless the character have something that shouldn't be in the game, like something game breaking. You know? Besides that, anything else can have a workaround. Like just you just need
True.
to put the time in and work
Ah,
around.
that is the thing. You see, time, boy.
Yeah,
I, I,
well,
Yeah,
I
that
I,
time, boy.
actually wanted to get into that whole time topic, right? Like,
Mm.
right, like I saw an article on Momochi recently where he's practiced 10 hours a day, right? Let me be realistic now. No
Yeah.
Trinidadian gonna practice
mm-mm.
10 hours a day, right? Like
Yeah,
Well, not in one game. That man
yeah,
will sit down and play game whole day,
yeah,
but
yeah, but
yeah.
like a
But
man
nothing.
grinding out in training mode and looking at
yeah.
footage,
We not
and
the discipline for
he
that.
don't
Unless it's
have the
like
discipline.
WoW or something.
Yeah,
Like
Uh,
I would
that's
say
not
me,
that.
like in secondary school days, where I have like the freedom to do that, but like I can't afford to do that now, right?
No. I
So,
understand that.
but like you don't have to do that, right? You don't have to train like Takedo 10 to 6 hours or Daigo or Momochi did. Like there are players like me, like the Korean players and infiltration say you really practice much. Like he just look at different scenarios and so
Mm.
see we went wrong and thing no.
Yeah.
Like focus more on where he went wrong instead of just grinding it out and training more. No. Like them minutes practice this practice efficiently, you know.
Mhm.
Don't
Mm.
necessarily have to go and train them when and grind 6 to 10 hours a day. All that
Yeah.
not necessary.
Practice what you need practice on. Like if you have really good footsies, you don't need to sit down and practice footsies all the time. Practice something you're uncomfortable with. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like if you I remember this is like a real specific thing. Back in Street Fighter 4 when I played Marcus Guile with Rufus, like the first time we played, like it was complete blow up. Like he beat my barrel bad. I didn't understand how to get around them sonic booms with Rufus. And like the same night I come and I sit down and play as Guile against like computer Rufus and saw like little holes that the computer was getting through that I could have used but I just didn't know about it now. Like different like how to work around each time, the sonic boom, different timings of the sonic boom, light, medium, heavy. And that's like to put pressure on Guile, like change it around. And it's like when people are saying that's a bad match first, like I had to disagree with that. And I was like, well, I find it's a good match because like, just people not putting any time now, to understand how you're supposed to go about playing the match now. That sometimes you need to block like 10 sonic booms in a row, but that's okay, you're pushing him to the corner, stuff like that. It's just need to put in more time. Yeah.
But when I finish, I could jump in.
Yeah. It's
Mm.
putting any time, but putting any time to or like on the thing that you're uncomfortable with, not just playing the match and practicing doing combos on Guile. Practicing like I am uncomfortable with Guile zoning game, so I will work around that now. Like try focus on the zoning game, focus on what I'm not comfortable with. That's what I'm trying to say. What are you
Uh,
saying, Martin?
yeah, well, for me, on my behalf, considering the time,
Mm.
especially most Street Fighters, basically for me, since I was playing Street Fighter Turbo, you need the
Mm.
time, you need the playing time, you need the playing work. You understand?
Mm.
Hours a day, I believe like 4 hours a day, 3 or 4 hours a day, that's good because this whole point about muscle memory is something you really need in Street Fighter for, like considering reaction time with punches, that kind of stuff, man.
Yeah.
So these guys who really put in work, Simplification, Tokido, Daigo, the rest, you gotta understand, and these fellas getting paid to sponsor them.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Like that whole thing, you have to understand because
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, we are a small country. We are getting paid ready to play games. You understand? You
Mm-hmm.
gotta really
Mm.
love game and for whatever character you're playing.
Mm-hmm.
So time and devotion is really up to you and the love you have for the game. You understand?
Yeah.
It's that why I see it. That.
But as you know, jump in, Matthew, I want to talk to you about like how do you prepare for tournaments? Like, say we have a tournament coming up next week, right? Just
Mhm.
hypothetically, a tournament coming up next week. How you go about practicing for this tournament? Like normally, what do you would do?
Normally, sometimes I just go in rank. If not,
Mm.
I just try to remember. I don't really prepare for tournaments. For me, it's
Mm.
really a fun thing. But tournaments, really and truly, if I really like for instance, this tournament coming up versus, if I
Mm.
really had to put in work, I will do some research and do some hardcore training stage, considering
Mm.
you could, you could punish and stuff you can't punish. And this game, the any training stage is somewhere you have to be
Mm.
because you really can't train online. And then how the community is, everybody lives so far. You just can't pick up yourself every day to go arena or for to come south now.
Right.
So
Mm.
the option we really have right now is training stage, and the same thing is say, God, infiltration was saying concerning the scenarios. Like you look back at stuff your matches you lost and the state of stuff you lost, and you
Yeah.
try to work that in the training stage now.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, training stage and with this new thing in versus the bring away versus second street computer, that is another good thing to do. But
Yeah.
for me, I don't really, I just come to them with my old skill what I have and tell it down.
Right. So you know like form like preemptive plans for certain players or anything like that. Like say, all right, you wouldn't really know this going into a tournament, but like say you had to play me first match of a tournament, like you're going into that match with a plan, like how to fight me or like any
Yeah,
tendencies I have.
I go have a plan, but
Or
me overall as a player,
yeah,
I'm more play around with the first round to
right.
see
You try
the
to form the
reaction
plan in the match.
in the match.
Hello, anybody hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we in.
Yeah.
yeah. I'll get to this. I'll ask you some questions. So. Um,
I just want to make sure I was inside now.
yeah, yeah. Listen, nice watching everybody.
Mm,
Um, yeah. So you know, well, okay. You have somewhat of a plan going into the match.
mm.
Like probably you have some my tendencies or some or the other player tendencies in your head going into the match, but for the most part, you're just trying to form the plan
For me,
in the
plan
match itself.
yeah, because you don't understand like certain guys like that is what this whole community thing about it because certain guys I really hit I felt like for you. I never really
Mm.
played you much since
Yeah,
you start playing the game.
I
I
don't think we play
played
at all in this game. We didn't
yeah,
play at all in five yet.
yeah. And then I played Batusa every time but we never really had no really offline
Yeah.
set to say really grind first to 10, first to 20.
Mm-hmm.
That is why I really need to you wouldn't really get why I wouldn't really know really and truly playing. Yeah, I just
Mm.
had to read you the first match and try to adjust the suit.
Mm.
Yeah, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, we have just watched a few videos
Yeah.
and a few tech and try to just do the
Mm.
almost trading stage stuff or whatever. But for me, I'm not taking the game that serious. To say,
Okay.
I
I
had,
try.
I had love for the game, but you know, it's something I ain't really paying my all in it, man, because the game itself
You
I
know,
still
yeah.
into it, yeah.
You know the love for the game like
Now, like,
before.
so, that was, and I'm not dropping off. I'll play the game, but
Mm.
like for me, back when I was playing, so I
Mm.
was grinding every day and rank. I was,
I remember them days, Matthew.
I tell you, I was the first DJ in the world to become master.
You was top
Mm.
from PSN, dog, like
Yeah,
out of everybody in the world.
yeah. I used to live online, but how the network is now, it hard for me to work and learn matches because the online not that good now. So
Mm.
I differentiate in online most of them. I like community knew me well, so you know I could get matches with high level players.
And
Yeah.
also, I find like the online, well, is that separate topic? But sometimes when I play online, I guess bounce up a lot of Europe players, and like
Mm.
I find way more often than I send for like four is like in four I used to bounce up a bunch of North American players, like, especially from Florida. But like I don't like in five like I bounce on people in Europe
Yeah, it's a
and
more broader scope here.
yeah, I was like what's all this dog? And even if it's at the bar to like 4 or 5 bars only, yours is still bouncing up the
Yeah.
foreigners like
Still,
a lot.
still getting it. You
Yeah.
But I
paying?
think that one network
Does that
showed
have
up
to do
from
anything with servers?
Well,
That wouldn't have to do much with the servers. Like
because
what server you're linked to,
but
basically.
It
you
had
have
to
to
do the
understand,
search algorithm
yeah,
that
because
whatever system they're using to search for
this,
players and connect them
Oh,
together.
okay.
this is something different. It's not the same as Street Fighter 4. It's something new they created
Yeah.
now. So they
Mm.
still had to work with the tweaks and stuff because a lot of guys was complaining about they when they're in rank, they only getting the same guys over and over and over and that kind of stuff now. Or even when you're
Yeah.
searching in
Yeah.
in lobbies. So it's stuff they still work on. So
Yeah, I
as
hear that
Captain
for
would say,
rank.
bear with them.
Yeah, I hear that when in rank you can't like choose who you're gonna fight now. You know, before you could have load up the list of players and try to get in their game, but now it's just they just set you up with somebody randomly. You don't know who it is.
But
Uh,
they try to create that kind of way, like if I'm platinum, I will only play close to platinum and
yeah, yeah.
yeah, so that is an X factor by itself too. So
Mm.
you can't really choose who you're gonna play. And so it's for me on my behalf, my online gaming kind of shut down, you know. And
Mm.
online is where I really used to train because I know on a training stage. I don't know arcade. I like to one on one. I like to learn mistakes while in the match, you know.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I
The reason I really asking these questions is I want to give the up and coming players like some like a point of view now, some sort
yeah.
of perspective, like
Tell
how
tell I'm like coming in here.
yeah
How
how
you gonna start
yeah.
there?
I know like a lot of us kind of burnt out on the Street Fighter. We don't really like how the Street Fighter is, but like it's our people who do. People in the community who really like the game and they want to get better and thing. And some like hold on one sec, sorry.
Problem.
Um, yeah, some of our advice might help them out now.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so like I just want to see like I want to show them like how the top players in the country really train, how did they go about practicing for tournaments and thing, and maybe it'll help them out. I want to ask Sebastian to Sebastian, you've been in the tournament scene in Trinidad for a long time, from in Tekken days and stuff, Tekken 5
Mm.
and stuff, right?
Yeah.
I want to know how do you go about practicing for a tournament?
Why go about practicing for a tournament?
Yeah, like
Well,
say it's
first
a
thing I will not.
tournament this weekend. What do you do?
All right, tournament this weekend. All right. Well, we don't establish who it is that our main character will be. So we
Mhm.
might have a main and then a little plan B just in case now, right? What I do, I try to brush up on certain like techniques and combos that I'll be working on and what I will be familiarizing myself with from before.
Okay.
But aside from doing that, you'll watch certain match videos, see if you miss the mark anywhere, see if you can learn anything from anybody, because there can't be bias in this thing. Also, and this is most important as well, like studying your frame data, what could punish what you should do and not do.
I find that real
And
crucial
also,
for second way. That
huh?
I find that real crucial for second way you said that's now.
For the frame data,
Yeah, for
of course,
second that
you
real
need that,
crucial.
bro. You need that.
I got a
And
Bible.
and mo- and one thing about Tekken I realized too, it's not just about learning to punish a character, but if you can familiarize yourself with the character itself that you're going up against, like I would try to gauge it, like who's the most popular characters I'm most likely going and fight. We'll definitely see a Paul, we could see a
Mhm.
King, we could see a Brian and Nina.
Mhm.
Try to familiarize yourself with it a bit, to think about certain strategies that they may come with certain ground plays and Oki tools and stuff like that. No? That way, you wouldn't seem too fun.
You would like try the character out yourself, like you would play the character.
Yeah. I don't want to perfect the character, just familiarize it, right? So if I see somebody coming with a move that no must, because you remember Tekken's a lot of strings, and what I realize people tend to fail at, they think certain characters, when they fighting against the characters, they think that is a true string. This time it's not a true string, it's something that somebody compiling in front of your face.
Right.
So it will have gaps. Unless you familiarize yourself with the character and know how the character fights, you wouldn't be able to gauge them. Like, I could draw a good reference with Asuka and Jun, for example. People just get beat down from those two characters. Beat down. I fall short as well. That's until I actually learn that characters so tricky and stuff that certain moves they have does look as though it's flowing into each other, but it's not. They have gaps. You could evade, you could get in, you could punish, different things like that. So in all, I will, like I said, make sure and tighten up on my main character, familiarize myself with what characters might be coming with, learn to punish, and most definitely the frames itself. He is not without frames, boy.
Well, you talk about like learning the character itself, but what about the players in general? You come in with a plan for specific players. So say like you're gonna bounce up, men like David, men like KULL, the more top players in the country. Like you come in with strategies for them specifically. Like when you're going up against them, or you just wing it.
Now the nice thing about Tekken is that Tekken, each player very unique. Each person there has their own unique type of fighting style. From the most pressuring type, some might come in with real pressure, some might play a real good turtling game, some might be even playing nonsense, but it's a fighting style at the end of the day, they come in with a style. But at the same time too, you have to be aware of the different types of gameplays, pressure and turtling as well, right? If I have to, like, for example, David, I would say David is a mixture of the both, right? So you can't say you're going to learn all out how to fight a man with a defensive style. You have to learn both, because he could tap in and out at the same time. And also, a lot of these guys like to use a lot of safe moves as well too, very safe. So this is what it comes down to. Even though it's safe, you have to learn to get around it, like using proper side steps, not trying to be pitbulling too much, because they could damage you. And David and some of these other guys, they will play characters that have good offense, defense, could get in, get out, could take good damage off here. Yeah. So if I have to gauge our opponent when I go to fight them, obviously from before I'll be screening them from before.
Right.
I'll be going and seeing how they practice. I might practice with them. Get an idea, familiarize yourself. I'm not saying that you will learn them off the bat, but you will have a foot in the hole then.
And as far as warm-up's concerned, you have to warm up before a tournament, or you prefer to go in fresh?
I advise a warm-up. I advise a warm-up. Because
that might be a kind of strange question, because like obviously you might think it's better to warm up, but like just for me personally, I prefer to go in without warming up. I don't know what it is, but like I like to go in like
mental
my
thing.
first tournament. Yeah, that's my first tournament match is my first game of the day. I don't know what I just feel more comfortable like that. I don't know what it is, but
I believe in the warm up because some guys.
I think I agree with Shay on that one. Yes.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, I think I agree with Shay on that.
I never really hear anybody agree with me on that one. Like,
yeah, no, I just do the same thing too. But pertaining to wait till they say with Tekken and thing, but no, I'm not ponging you, Sebastian, and I'm not ponging your game. But Tekken men is real cry for every little thing. But the screen,
no, you see that
the screen lagging, controller working is your controller bringing no, but it ain't working. This the boy.
I understand that. But I can't say that is just for Tekken alone, boy. I hate all across the board.
Boy, Tekken only win, boy. Only win that, boy. But you never go to Tekken tournament and not hear complain about the screen.
I ain't defending nobody.
A man go bring his own TV and complain about it.
Bro, I'm not defending nobody. I hear you. I went through that already. But sometimes it just come down to that, and you mightn't like this what I'm about to say. Some men just can't take their losses.
True.
That's true.
Some men winning in casuals, but when it comes down to the grind, they get blown out.
Yeah,
All of a
but
sudden, something went wrong.
But
Boy.
here, and here, just before you finish, here the punchline in that is, it's not that, it's that people are custom playing in a house.
Boy.
True, you make a good point.
That's a
Excellent point.
Boy. Yeah, boy.
That's
And that
excellent.
and that come back again wrong to the community sweat,
Mm-hmm,
bringing everybody together and let them to not to be in a tournament environment per se, but a community environment where it is you get accustomed actually facing that man next to you. You understand? And that having that mental fortitude then against our opponent who literally standing up in your face saying, well, look at me. Come at me with the best you have. And because I coming at you with the best I have. You understand? So a lot of younger players.
That sounds real nice what you're saying there, right? Real nice. And I feel with that. But the problem that we have with that is that there are a lot of guys in the community that is taught feelings.
Yes. Yes. But you don't want to tell me about that, partner. I had was to run from Arima. 3 men run me down with cutlass. I had to pay for a whole maxi to come down to town for myself. Yeah, I remember about them days. Yeah, men still toting. Yeah.
I think we know about now.
I remember when did I call this? It's Passions in Arima, if I'm mistaken. When Passions did get Killer Instinct 1, I hit a man up perfect and humiliate him twice. But I had to run from Arima, in my school clothes, I'll never forget that. I pay for a whole small maxi to come to town one time, yes?
Wait, I thought we had a bad way.
Let me tell you something about this community, yeah? Here what stop this community from rising, and becoming known. You see all the fight down, all the he say and she say, and trying to bring down. That is what has caused problems. Man, it's hard for somebody to have a good match with you and to draw and
say good match.
Not just good match. I know I fall short here, but help me tell me what is I do wrong now.
Yeah, boy.
You see I jump in Street Fighter. Yeah. I didn't hold back. I asked every single person who plays Street Fighter what are doing wrong and how I could learn Ken properly.
Cool.
I don't care. I want to learn a game. I like the game. I know nothing about the game. I go into the men that know about these things, these fundamentals. I talk to Matthew already. I talk to Che. I talk to this guy who's play Ken from Prod Squad, who's play Ken.
Callan.
Yeah, he was a big help. All guys are total firming and all.
And you realize that everybody helping you out, nobody holding back on you. If you ask somebody for help, people just give you the help.
Hey, I give Jack the jacket. You're good in the game. You could help me.
Yeah.
You could help. If I want to come and ask me about Tekken, I tell you straight out I'll help him out. As best as I could.
Nice. And that's what we need. And
you see when it have that type of loyalty within the group, then you will start to see things come out. Men will start to feel comfortable, it won't have no tension, it don't have no bad blood, it will have proper beef then, if you want to say.
Yeah. The community really didn't have any togetherness, any unity at all.
I like this thing what you're doing with the community sweats and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
But men will tote feelings because of their own personal experiences and pride, not to come out and say. I speak in my mind. I tell them. And whoever it is listening to this podcast, hear him out. And if it is an offense, well, if the cap fits, wait.
We'll see how it goes on, but
we understand what you're saying. You catch where you're coming from totally too.
Yeah, but the community once you want to evolve, you want to get better, and you have a love for the game. Men will come out because they can't stick in your house. Right? I mean, men will come out.
I'm 18 years old.
Matthew, me and you playing long time, right? Me and you playing long time. Let me ask you something. You think men have it easier now, or when we was playing long time it was easier?
Ben getting spoon fed right now, boy.
Boy, that's what I just be complaining about, boy. When I wanted to find out.
For?
No. It have plenty men that's complain, boy, because here we're going, right? When I want, you see, like how you say, I wanted to find out that matchup. At that point in time, I couldn't be Chun-Li for nothing. Who is the best Chun-Li player? You know, but it had two twins down in South, but one of them will play Chun-Li. I had to take a maxi and go south. Go Lapi
Oh
Plaza.
God.
Try and bounce up them on a day that they
He's
come.
really right, yes.
Yeah, you know online and you know
They
videos
did
so
not
much.
online.
Yeah.
Didn't know them. Went down there getting an argument with everybody in the arcade. Right? Fight. That's how I end up meeting the twins. You understand? But I don't know if they gonna remember me from back then. I ain't gonna lie, I wasn't. Yeah. You know?
But
Alright.
but the next thing to back then, we used to travel. We used to come Korea.
That is true. I used to see them fellas all over. I remember I tell
I
it.
meet the twins in Tekken 5.
Boy, I went to Library a Sunday evening, 4:30 Sunday evening by taxi, Library, to play a Ken man that people say was better than everybody in town. Went down there and beat him in a shop playing 25-cent machine. 5:30 the shop closed and I had to sleep in Library.
It's that's the real world.
Remember that
That's boy.
That's the
The one you want to drop
But you couldn't get taxi. About
Yeah,
9 o'clock
walk.
in the,
You walk.
about 9 o'clock in the night, the woman in the shop realized I was sleeping outside. Huh?
Where you living?
For a spin.
Are you elaborate? Nah.
We used to go all over the
Chad,
country.
back then was a different time. You know?
But,
you say
I could tell you which part every arcade was from Diego Martin, from
Shit.
Carnage as a matter of fact, from Carnage, right, up to Granny. Every arcade, every shop, I play every coin in every game inside of the market. I spent my last dollar in playing game. You understand? So I'm telling you, I remember walking, I remember playing game in Arima and walk from Arima to Tongan.
From a remote tongue, boy.
Yeah. Walk.
No,
What
but
you
the
say
fun
there?
kind of passion, boy. Had the fun kind of passion.
I'm telling you,
But I
like,
gotta walk through Peter Man thing, you know.
boy,
We
that
can't
time
talk
you
to
gotta
you,
beat
man.
them out, you gotta walk wherever it is you wanted, anytime. So when it is I telling men about playing game and thing, I telling you, I went through the trenches.
Nah, we real spell to be
You
honest.
walk from a remote tongue, you say, right?
Yeah, and walk home.
No tell me. And you walk back home after.
Yeah, walk home.
It's tongue 11.
Come
And
to
Tongue
Arima.
11, I travel up to Arima,
Oh,
pay all my money. When I reach back my
Boss.
practice stand, realize I didn't have any money and walk home.
nah, boy.
I ain't lying.
Yeah, you like you was dreaming the game, boy.
But I
don't know.
everybody are days I tell you,
It was back then was a different.
yeah, back then was different. They didn't know big select
Sadik.
thing.
But back then it didn't even have move list and thing. You
Yeah,
play
but-
a
yeah,
character,
but-
you find 2 moves. Hey, this man have 2 moves.
Boy,
In the days, you can hit move and you're guessing move to try and figure it out, yes?
boy, I tell you the first time I see a man do a triples, I was weakened.
like
Couldn't understand how the hell he get out of working.
Sebastian second trade even had like on even on the PS1 they instead of the command grabs chain Kings be doing the long one.
Yeah.
It
They never give it on the command list.
They never give it on the command list, dog.
Nah.
I'm still for it out.
You know how I had to get that? You used to have a man downstairs Colsat Mall with a Tekken 3 guide.
Guy
And the
there.
man selling.
Oh, that
He
man
went out for
still
the
there.
copy and selling it for
That
$3
fella
and
still
thing.
there. That fella still there. Selling what you call it now? Them Pokemon cards and them. Still
Nah, not Tony. Not Tony. Not Tony.
Same fella?
same fella, boy.
It's not
Yeah,
Tony.
Yu-Gi-Oh
It's not
cards and
Tony.
who's that man, boy?
It's not Tony. You talking about Tony with the Spider-Man hand. Candles we put like Spider-Man on. When you shooting web? With the two fingers in
not guy
between.
talking about, you know. It had a
Tony-
next fella who used to have the whole list, boy.
Dog.
I don't know who's on.
You know, the
I
funny thing
don't
about
even know
that,
Tony in town down that corner with all them
Oh.
school children and thing.
That man different, boy.
the funny thing about that King Commoner, everybody learned from somebody, but who them learned from? Like,
Boy,
how them know they gonna come this King
Probably
Combo?
somebody went to foreign land and come.
And they just tapping right punch and they just tapping right punch to break out it.
Yeah.
That like, if you're talking about that Samurai Shillong too, how Maru seven hit uppercut. I want to know how men figure out that because they didn't have no move list for that. I can tell you that
That
definitely.
was the front boy.
Yeah.
That was the front boy.
Yeah, spin kick, magic, spin kick, BNC. How you figure out that?
How that move
What
Galford used to
this
do,
you
boy.
had to do?
You
Boy,
can
How that
imagine.
move Galford used to do, you know. How that move Galford used to do, I never figure out that, boy.
What move is
Something
that?
with the dog. Something with the dog he used to do, boy.
What move is that, boy?
I see a man do it once, and I never see nobody else do that, boy.
Galford is the one that used to fence?
Nah, you
Galford is
want
the one with the dog.
Dog,
The
dog.
kind of nice.
The ninja with the dog.
Oh, okay. I know
Yeah.
what you're talking about.
The ninja with the dog.
I know what you're talking about.
It's move like hell as well.
gotta run some show at the community sweats on, by the way. That's the trend then.
Don't worry, all you getting that. I tell you, get my table. All you getting all them things. Don't worry.
I can take in 3 days and nothing like no frame data, nah? Big pop. The thing whole thing, nah, no frame teeth.
I think
man.
actually, I think the first time I ever see frame data was in the tech entry guide for PS1.
Oh, the game.
Serious?
Yeah.
Who said frame data?
Oh.
Nah.
You got like a
Because I
original
have
tech
that,
entry?
have that guy right now. I mean, seeing frame data in that.
PS1? I feel like that was the first time I ever see frame data.
Nah,
Serious?
I doubt that.
So far back, boy. Cause to me,
I
the
see
first time I ever hear about framing and thing in game was in Street Fighter 3.
To
me,
check, yeah, it was more common.
From
back.
my not Third Strike, even before Third Strike, Second Impact and all them thing, right? Framing and frame trapping, and that was the first time I ever was part of that discussion. You understand? But before that, I didn't know anything about framing and all kind of thing. You throw a lash if it hit you thank God and you keep going in.
But you watch a game like Tekken 2 and Tekken 1. Who really studying framing that, boy? That looking like you need a frame to play that.
But the whole game does look like a frame.
In the air and all kind of thing.
What
It's
is
true,
frame?
Larson. It's true,
Yeah.
Larson.
Yeah.
Now, but as games evolve, like frame data become more and more important.
True. Very true.
You can
Yeah.
imagine playing KOF 13 without anything.
Nah,
No
impossible.
training mode, nothing. Back in the game.
Impossible.
Playing what game? Playing
The
what game
Wolves.
without anything?
KOF
Play like
13.
Back at the Wolves.
Yeah, F13.
Back at the Wolves.
It's
Yeah,
probably,
F13 was crazy, boy.
it'll probably be
Greetings,
exactly
greetings,
like
greetings,
Mark
greetings.
Yeah,
Oh,
greetings,
man.
I mean.
Like Shay was saying just the other day, he realized he was playing Mark and he was wrong.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say it's
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
like
yeah.
it'll be just like Mark was it'll be playing it completely wrong.
Yeah,
It's-
I
it's
realized that. I didn't realize you could have stop moves and point moves and then take out moves.
I didn't know what game I was watching. I thought it was like a special version of Mark and something like
You know
Yeah.
that bring me to
Random.
you know that bring me to when Takedo it was at EVO, a Third Strike EVO, when Takedo and now come into America and
Yuri and thing.
Urian, right. And men realize he's playing the game wrong, you know. Men was only getting catching unblockables and men don't know the whole America get licks from Takedo, dog. And Takedo wasn't even all that in that game.
You just know
Ah.
the area attack.
Nobody
That
know the
nobody
matchup.
know what to deal with. Thing
That's the
nobody
next thing too, eh? All the time you're playing the game good and you're dominating, and somebody will come with some outer time and character. Never fact. I just so blow out everybody.
But the most important thing is to make sure that that don't happen again. Like,
Very true.
Wait, what do you
next
mean
time-
personally?
When
When you say that change, what do you mean personally? That don't happen to you again?
no. What I mean, you make sure that same person can't come back with the same thing and beat you again.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Like how Luffy win Evo and then he couldn't win a game after.
Oh god.
Cough, Viscant.
Oh wow.
Wow.
I think that was the most prevalent one. Yeah. The Wisconsin. I was like, yeah, boy, good. But yeah, when you get caught off guard by something, make sure you go and study it up. Don't come and get hit by the same thing over
Yeah,
again.
over and over is true.
Fool
Do
me
it.
once.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
learn that lesson, you know. Just get hit with that same thing until I don't know when money on the line and they really feel the burn when they lost that big money.
Yeah, like if you get hit by the same thing over and over, you can't be upset. Like that is on you.
Yeah.
It's your fault for not studying this thing.
I kind of saw that
Am I-
Arcades died.
What?
I saw
That's my
that
problem with
Arcades
Street
died.
Fighter.
Yeah.
Street Fighter, be.
You saw that arcades died?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, yeah, because I kind of hear in and out now. That is why I asked what this is.
Yeah.
Yeah, back in arcade days when you put in your coin, that is a short day.
Trinity Arcade.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, that's it. Amount of time to learn as much as you could.
Yeah, boy.
That's true, wrong?
Which
Sometimes
is
it's
the still running, dog. Like,
like $5 for a coin.
Oh, okay.
No. It's a
Oh God.
it's a wrong. That is still like small money and thing, man. It's a one in Sawa there. I think it's like a $2 for a coin or something.
Sour like the most grassroots arcade right now. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
they like
Sawa.
a old school arcade still.
You know, really.
Then their place get robbed.
Yeah, but well, that was like a year ago, or a year or two.
I don't think so.
That was a while.
No, boy.
I know some video footage I saw on Facebook when some place getting robbed. I don't know. It was
I think
the
that was probably early this year,
10
like
million.
late last year.
Mm-hmm.
But them going good. Like Paul is be going nice. I'm gonna come down and I was like, you think about it. I don't know. Once we get this sweat going, we won't have any problem with meeting up on there again.
And one more thing, what games you all having? Mostly everything, whatever anybody want to
It's not, yeah, it's not whatever games we have, it's all they want to play.
Like,
Is that vote or something?
huh?
Is that voting something?
No. You just like it's a community effort now. It's whatever you bring now, whatever the community bring in.
We're not getting sponsored or anything. Like everything there is stuff people bring in. They bring in your own setup, something. So,
What would the drinks though?
Oh,
no food or drinks. Now, what going on with your mic?
Who, me?
Yeah, something wrong with your mic.
Yeah,
Either that's
kind of distorted, yeah.
or you're talking right up in it. Step back.
You hear me better now?
Yeah.
yeah.
Well done.
Right, so
Yeah.
the drink situation is like this. The room that we get, it was booked by somebody else. And the woman in charge of the place offered to switch the rooms because the person wanted a room with a kitchen in it. So she told us she would switch the rooms for us if we forego the maintenance fee, which was like $300 or something. So then when we switch, she say we can't have any food inside. We could have drinks on it, like bottled water, plastic bottles on it, but no alcohol, no glass bottles, that kind of thing. But no food.
If you want to drink it, you can go
When you
outside.
say that, like, inside the room or
Inside the room.
Inside
Inside
the room.
inside the room.
You could go by it have a karate tournament happening on the same day. Or you could go by the karate tournament thing and eat
And eat and drink and make noise and thing, yeah.
Serious. Boy, like, men playing Street Fighter for real, in
Real.
there.
Go across there and watch. Put some money on it.
I am listening. It have 5 outlets. Before it used to have more, but I see like the seal up a few of them. So I would say safely we'd have about 10 setups. So we're not work with power strip running.
And
Yeah, for
and
skip
the-
and extension
the
code.
time to RB.
What's up?
The time.
Oh, the time is from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m.
So it's not 12 p.m. anymore.
No, and you
Somebody
can,
else
and-
had the room
Yeah, it's
in the morning time.
Is there any chance we could extend it already? Like, we could extend the time? Even like it's an hour or so.
Sure how late it is go.
Alright.
Well, let's show on us people like Fowler, boy. What happened, boy?
And I walk in the morning.
I'll make a call and see. If we
Is that
get like
call?
an hour.
I really don't ignore us.
I know. I know last time when Matthew and him had the tournament, we went over hour or something and they didn't really do it.
Depends on our over some. But the
Yeah.
place is a nice place and the place
It is a nice place, a nice place.
And the more we do it, we'll book a better day and we'll have more time for ourselves and thing like later on the line. So this is just the
basically,
first
this
one.
is just to start the ball
Yeah.
rolling then.
Yeah, I really wanted to get one going this month because the only other option would be like next month on the 6th or something, November the 6th, and I was like that was too far. Like I want to get the community set going now. Like we'll get accustomed to it, and we'll have one next one. We'll have one next month as well. Yeah?
Okay,
And the rep
okay.
says she willing to work with us, like to move around dates and thing, to try and
Right.
facilitate the whole
Even better.
community thing. But
Okay. Cool.
So that gonna be like the main place for now, but we could also look at other places, and maybe it don't even just have to be once a month. We could do it at other places several times a month.
Don't forget other places should be no problem. You could jump around too, so, you know.
Yeah.
But once it's everybody, south and north, everybody.
Yeah.
can-
I think
Yeah.
some people
I
are wrong
like
like
the
this.
I like the fact that it include everybody, especially
Yeah.
like the old school gamers and things because
Mhm.
you know, it don't really have much place to go and play old school games anymore. And the fact that like we come together and it's like $30 or $40 or whatever, man, that real cool. I find that real cool, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Just to like book the place or whatever, and if we come together and we share and we help out each other like long time, everything will be cool.
Yep, and the community will get better as well.
Yeah.
I men walking with the CRT TVs.
Yeah, boy. I just off that Super Nintendo are waiting for you.
God.
Yeah. Which one of the TV?
Big
Oh,
back you talk
yeah.
about.
Yeah. Oh, look what you looking for, SNK Capcom.
Oh, me play
No,
that good game.
not Chaos, sir. Not Chaos. Capcom versus SNK, not SNK versus Capcom.
What the chaos? What chaos? What the chaos shit?
Nah, you can play Chaos by yourself.
Chaos kind of
Chaos is evil canon again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me introduce you to Fight Kid. You can play as much as you want.
Yeah. We only have what, 7 hours, we ain't gonna play no Chaos. Nah, you can't waste no time on that.
You play?
Huh?
You play chaos? You play chaos?
Yeah.
But just burst in that game, come and show you some skills.
Yeah. I used to really play Chaos and I didn't really know it was so much crap.
I really used to play that too, like back in 2003.
I used to really play.
Yes.
I ain't playing no
I
time
know
into
it
that
was
game.
bullshit until I reach Mr. Karate.
Yeah, the boss characters was unbelievable, but
Oh, going in the arcade, you okay, you know? You're playing once
Yeah.
a playing.
it was a cool game that has a real cool sound effects and thing too. But
Hey,
hardcore
RB,
was-
you remember that game you was playing online the other day?
Rage of Dragons.
Yeah.
Double
Any
Dragon
others
game.
play that, boy?
Is that?
Anybody else besides the
Yeah.
two of you just play?
The Double Dragon spin-off. The Rage of
Yeah,
the-
Double Dragon fighting
Asking
game.
about that the other day, you know. I just can't remember who.
That game was real bad, I find, but it was decent for its time. There were a couple of games like that. There are games that had the crossover characters, like switching characters and things. Before Marvel X-Men and thing come out with it now.
You
So
have a
what try-
question? You have a question in the chat if we cross it, what's going on with the extra funds? So the extra funds will be putting that towards the next sweat. So we will make that
Oh,
figure
okay, cool.
Don't worry, no money getting pocketed there. Everything
It's
going
freaking-
towards the next one.
Where the venue is though?
Shogunas.
Should go on us in there.
the indoor arena in Sholas
Mm.
on Ramsar Street.
It
Never
literally,
like
like,
I'm lost.
We'll give you ways.
We have a map. We have a map.
Yeah.
Post up the map.
and it literally off the highway, Sebastian. So it's not like it's not hard to find.
You know where Mid-Center Mall is? Yeah, we could find it.
It's center, yeah.
Yeah,
Alright,
not
well,
far.
you know where you're going.
Or around busy corner side there.
I don't know.
Narima, boy.
You know where Center Point Wall is? Like right opposite.
Yeah.
Right, it's like diagonally opposite Center Point Wall where if you drive out. You know what about the sports ground? Like right opposite Center Point.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, it's right next door to the sports ground.
And it's a good parking and things too, right?
Yeah, like they won't have any problems parking or anything like that.
And
Yeah.
that's
Okay, that's
yeah.
cool.
Alright,
That's
okay.
cool.
And they have a lot of they have a lot of eating places and things there too. They have KFC, Subway, they have
Okay. Hey, other question I forget, yes. You see when you're getting old, boy.
Take your time.
Setting up. All the fellas going down like early and set up, or they just waiting for people to come and set up.
I don't know if we could go in early.
Well, the thing about it is, she said that it had a church that would be there. They're really supposed to finish 11:30.
Lord, they're blessing the place before we reach.
Ah, boy.
She said sometimes
All
they'll
the
go.
heathens coming.
I believe if we should like for
Half
like
12,
for the
I think.
past 12, half 12 should be good.
Yeah.
Alright,
To
cool.
get things going like
She said sometimes they just get real into the prison, so we just gotta go.
Joe, you go send you to get baptized, boy. Yeah, man. Let me stop it. All that time I go down and cook, I go come down and see all the after. I don't ignore it.
Yeah, we should go in and set up as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be done.
What's that?
Post in the group with how much funds was collected. We have a Google document.
Yeah.
Also,
Don't worry.
I want to emphasize on something. Like a lot of after the bookie sweat, there are a lot of rubbish that was left unattended
You
from people,
serious, boy?
right? Yes, a lot of rubbish was left, right? I'm talking on behalf of Ryan, right? I don't want that to happen with this
Yeah.
event here.
There have to be at
People,
least.
Yeah, well,
please pick up your rubbish.
Mark,
everybody
make
wants
sure and
that.
pick up your rubbish too, eh?
I just pick up my rubbish,
Why
brother.
you in here,
Make
boy?
sure and pick up your rubbish too, eh?
Not in my house.
And
My house had
Furman,
full of rubbish.
Furman, make sure and pick up your rubbish too, eh?
Somebody
And then
share
bring
smoke
the
with garbage bag just in case. But
We,
Mm.
and bring
we
the
were doing
punching again, trouble.
I don't fall down them stairs. I have no chance.
Steps too.
Oh, go be girl right
If fellas hear what now, step out the chat for a little while now.
Yeah,
Right?
same
problem,
also.
but
Yeah, listen.
If it's anything, I could always call back in though.
Yeah.
Yeah, we run too much more longer. It's just only those couple topics we had today. I wanted more people to be in on it and hear what they had to say.
But have any more questions you want to ask me or anything like that? Before I go, just
That's about it. Nah, that's about it. Thanks for coming through.
yeah, man, no problem, man. Anytime.
Yeah, that's
Later.
fine.
Yeah.
I don't Milo, I didn't ask Milo any questions. Milo,
Yo,
you say you had a Smash tournament coming this weekend. How you go about preparing for a Smash tournament?
prepare like like training, preparing or
Yeah, how do you go? You know your tournament coming up, you're going to enter, you're going to win. How you going about winning this tournament?
well, most of my training like this is the only game as usually like for situation purposes, like situation of characters and stuff like that. So like I will look at other people play and see how they treat certain situations, and I will try to kind of counteract that situation. So this is the only game I do. I don't really do that for Street Fighter or anything, but Smash I do it now, right? And so like take for example, I see you probably playing Captain Falcon and you try and at least punish me or something. Like I know I cannot come back on the stage or something like that. And I see you trying to punish me. I might try to like say for instance, try to grab you and try to kill myself with you or things like that now.
Yeah,
Certain
okay.
situations like that now. Right?
Any situation you're uncomfortable with, you
Yeah.
go up with,
Yeah.
come on with a plan for it.
Yeah, and most like the last tournament I went, most of my game was like most of my matches was like built on muscle memory now, because I wasn't training at all or stuff and stuff like that. So like that muscle memory, like certain situation, I was able to kind of counter these situations now. So things
But
like that.
All right, let's say you know the players who are gonna be there. You know, Wabs, ASYM, Crum, Box, whoever gonna be there. You have strategies in your head, or like four plans for each player, or you just try to wing it in the match.
Well, at the first during the tournament, I had certain situations for certain players. Right? I didn't know how to do certain stuff, but like coming down to like Wabs and ASYM, I really didn't know because I was really actually I was preparing myself for ASYM Cloud now, and he came with that Falcon, and that Falcon threw him off. Right? So I was like, you know what? Let me just bring it and see what going. And that is what happened.
Yeah,
But
like asking everybody that same question because like I feel coming in with a plan is one thing that people don't do, and I think that is like the most important thing when going about training. Like, although everybody talking about their own methods of training and thing, I think the most important, that's just for me, that's what I think. The most important thing is going in there with a plan, because you don't have like a tournament setting is most of the time 2 out of 3. Like not all games 3 out of 5, it's mostly 2 out of 3, so you don't have that much time to collect information. You need to go in there with information already stored. And like this is something that I didn't used to do until recently, and I feel like it helped out my game a lot. Like not just training by practicing combos and little setups like that, but more training in situations and like player tendencies. Like if I know how to play certain people, I know what to go for. I know what they like to go for, so I coming in with like plans to counter that. I think that is one thing people should really work on. And I'm gonna like talk to more players when we have the community sort and thing, like the people who trying to get better in Street Fighter 5 and thing. I want to talk to them and see how they go about doing these things and try to give them advice and help them get better. And, like,
Because like me and Crum was studying like how ASYM and Wabs and them just play. Wabs and ASYM he thinks while he plays. So but Wabs play on muscle memory because Sonic, you know how Sonic is. Right? You do what spin dash, right? You do one thing, right? And basically like Wab's approach is like he wants you to get annoyed now. And that's basically Sonic's playstyle now. If you get annoyed, that is when Sonic shines, and then that is when you get real impatient and stuff like that. Right? So Wab's kind of playstyle is a one thing playstyle, but it's based on that, and that is how Sonic does beat everybody because you get impatient. And when you're playing Sonic, even though you're not winning, even though you're not, you had to tell yourself that you're going to be alright, because if you get impatient, that is it. You will die.
Yeah, just fall deeper and deeper down.
That goes to most fighting games. Just
mind games.
But like Sonic is like a one play style character now. He doesn't have like that. That is his genuine strength. Now everybody could change their play style now, but Sonic that is him. He's like a hit and run character. He don't do nothing else, right? Right. So that is why everybody just get impatient and stuff like that. But so
I have a question for Ole. Ole would describe like each individually. Ole would describe yourselves as when you're training as you focus on the character or the player more. Which one?
From my personal opinion, I think, for example, if I see it depends on like the person who playing the character too, right? Like I might have a bias. Say for example, if I'm playing against like if I learning how to play against right, I will also have Furman in my mind when I learning against Rai, dog. But sometimes like if I learning the next character, I think I wouldn't really think about anybody else playing with that character.
Well,
that's my opinion.
I think it comes down to what Shader say, You see tendencies, player tendencies, right? Because like in Smash, you don't know what all the characters doing in order to know how to counter this, how to counteract this, how to approach this, so and so. But you also have to watch the players' tendencies, and like Wabs and stuff like that. His tendency is like just to wait there, get you annoyed, just get you annoyed. Don't he's not rushing you, hitting you and running.
Yeah, so Wabs is more like playing the character.
You going upstairs?
He playing the character. Yeah.
I think like for Smash is more based on player tendencies than any other fighting game. Like is more like one single hit. It's like a single hit game now. It's not combos and setups as much as the other 2D fighting games now. It's more like if this this person go and block you, just read so you grab.
Especially for this iteration, I'll come out.
Yeah, it's more single hits than combos.
This Smash 4 is based on just hard reads, RB. Hard reads. Everything you do is hard reads. And once you get a good read, try to punish as optimal as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
like for me it'll be like I'd focus on both, but like the character thing I would just like I have a general knowledge of the character, and any one specific move or anything I'm not comfortable with the character I will try to focus on that, but for the most part is the player. Like what they like to do, and like just reading the mood of the match itself. Like when I notice they being a little too defensive, like try to go in more. When I realize they're being too offensive, try to shut down the offense by like with footsies and poking them out. That's more. And some players have like little bad tendencies, I should say. Like having tendencies is not a bad thing all the time, but certain players have really bad tendencies to go for unsafe moves. So just throw it out. And like taking advantage of that is crucial, because if somebody hitting you sweep constantly and all the sweeps unsafe, if somebody just doing sweep and hitting you, that is getting your head. Like you start to be more defensive than you should be. But if you, on the other hand, punishing that sweep, like max punish every single time, you got going to get in their head. And
that is like That's like what Mark was saying, how when he plays Furman, he knows Furman tendency. Furman will just wake up and show you can just so. And you wouldn't expect it now. And that is like playing our defenses like you're waking up
Yeah.
and that you just getting up and you're not pressing nothing because you know he just gonna wake up and show you can.
I think that why Ryan lost to Furman in last tournament because Ryan didn't expect that kind of play style at all. That's probably like the first time I ever bounced up somebody like so drastic into that.
He wasn't ready for that.
He wasn't ready for that at all.
Yeah. I think in that span, like the problem there is that he didn't go in with a plan for fighting Furman. He went in with a plan for fighting Ryu. Like he fight plenty Ryus online, so he's like, all right, he do this 100 times before he fight Ryu. Once the Ryu not doing what I expect him to do, and come a problem, you know, what the hell to do against this Ryu? And all of a sudden you only have 2 rounds, so like your time run out. You didn't have enough time to add up.
And it's not to say that Ryan have Carlin's play with Ryu, I's play with Ryu. It's not like Ryan don't have Ryu experience. Just he wasn't ready for Furman at all.
What was important there was the Ryu practice. Furman practice.
I will always say that you're fighting man another game. Because I keep saying tonight, you're getting into that person's head. A lot of playing Street Fighter on the whole. Well, the older Street Fighter, really and truly, was anticipation and intimidation. If it is, I can anticipate your moves, I win. And if I intimidate you enough to make you do what I want you to do, I win. So majority of my game was a back down game. I always used to say, I never used to block playing Street Fighter. Right? I don't block. I'll keep constantly walking into you because one of the stupidest things you can see a man do in Street Fighter is just come and stand up next to you and ain't do nothing. You will have that man so bummy he go just stand up and block and you go just grab him and do whatever. Because they don't understand. Once it is you could get into a man's mind, especially if you're talking to him and you're telling him things like, all right, don't jump, don't move, don't back, don't move there, you know? Little simple things like that. And you get into here and you see you win that game a long time. You win that game before you start a fighting. And if it is he see you do somebody that before it is he fight you, you get into that.
And that mark is what you call AMILO.
The worst thing you could do in fighting games is be predictable. That is the worst thing you could possibly do.
Is he, Mark? Is he? Right.
That is not to say just do any random thing like this. That's your face on the control.
Hey, my random just catch manners.
Especially for third strike. Especially for third strike, them tendencies just get punished hard.
Because doing something somebody anticipates, like if you anticipate something, you're gonna react to it faster. No? Like, if you're not going off a raw reaction, just if I see this man press a button, I'm gonna do something. If I'm waiting for that button, I'll react to it faster. No? So the worst thing you could possibly do is be predictable.
And also, like from my personal opinion, what make me get better in like I'm known as a Street Fighter player, but playing other fighting games has got me better. Like for example, when I started playing Tekken, I started to realize how important whiff punishment is now. Like before in Streets, I only used to whiff punish certain moves, but I realized that like when I started playing Tekken, I was like, wait, now you can whiff punish almost everything here. Then when I apply it to Streets, like it started to work out there. And for example,
that actually be true. That's true. Playing other games is really beef up other games. Like if you're playing one game and you play something else, sometimes that little brain cooler too.
Exactly.
Not playing this one particular game and
so
trying to
into
get
this muscle memory that it hard to escape this box now. So like
one way,
like
one way thinking.
So for example, like even like when I played right before 5 came out, I started playing more third strike to because like I saw lots of similarities between 5 and third strike now,
which is beautiful.
And I'll actually learn something. Like for example, like let me say if like a lot of Street Fighter 4 players, especially Ryu players, like if they get hit with if they block like say a safe block string or something, they do like a lot. Like I guarantee 90% of the Ryu players will attack back using crouching medium kick into fireball. Like I sure it just so in their brain to do that now, dog. And like that tendencies like that can get blow up in certain games now. And
But
like
that way you're saying that I used to do that in like hyper thing too because that particular pushback then, what we would
yeah,
have called a pushback,
yeah,
right? That it is work,
yeah,
but from looking at it from like a frame, looking at it from a frame structured game, you'll get damage, you'll get punished. But if it is your custom playing the older games
mm,
and you catch a person like just slip on that button, middle kick magic is the fastest thing you could do.
I say like it's like the go-to tool, but you
Yeah,
don't have to do it all the time. Like
yeah,
Mm.
right, right.
like like all right, for example, when I was playing Tish, right, what I did like Tokyo, I can't remember his name, right, a good Urian player, right, he blew it up with low parry into one long combo, and I was like, what? Like half my health gone. But like I only realized that when I started playing other games now. So
Mm.
like it's not to say that for you could like men who never used to play four, if they play four now, they could learn certain things too now. So
Mm.
it's applied to both ways. Now. That's just from my personal take.
And Strike was like the most unforgiving game to have tendencies and like if you have any kind of pattern in that game, you're gonna get like destroyed.
Nah, but
Yep.
I would say killer one boy.
Oh
But
well,
if it is if
yeah.
it is a plain killer one and you just keep doing the same thing over and over, you will get so much. But especially if I'm on the play with like normal combos, like if it is just play like what is called the combo? Not link combos. It's
Auto
something
combos.
not auto combo. Is auto combos? Right? I can't remember what it's called. Manuals, right? If you're playing with manuals, if the person just play mostly manuals, you will feel real pain, you know. You'll feel real pain. You feel real pain. Like
Yeah.
Oh,
there's that constant missing and right?
oh, Trini sucks. They have a player called Kaiser can as player Guilty Gear a lot. I seen it in the chat now, so just
Oh,
addressing
okay.
that question.
Mm.
Somebody's asking
Okay.
if anyways, play Skullgirls or Guilty Gear.
I know
Shepherd,
Skyler is good at it.
Imperial.
Yeah, we have Guilty Gear players. If you're from Trinidad and you want to come out to the community sweat, we'll probably have some Guilty Gear there too.
Enlightened Lord was playing it recently. As he picked
Certain
up.
certain men called Kaiserkin will just smile.
Yeah, he'll be real glad to see that. So
I think he said he wasn't coming though. I think he said he had a
Yeah,
work.
yeah,
he will
he's
make
work
it.
4 days on, 4 days.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but he will be the one eventually, don't worry. He'll have some Guilty Gear sets coming, don't worry. I really want to hear more players' opinion on this, but like we could save that for another podcast. Anything else anybody want to touch on? We talk about the training, we talk about community sweat. Any other topics? Have in mind? No.
Not really.
It's just basically the for everybody coming out and trying to support the community and
Yes, most definitely.
that is the overall goal now.
Yes. Check out the FGC TT Facebook page for anything concerning the community sweat coming up this Sunday. We're gonna have more. We're gonna talk more about it over the course of the week. Like just try to get everything planned out, and so we're not going there to scramble on Sunday. You know, go there and set up and have a good time. So, without that being said, thank everybody for coming out tonight. I know you all had fun. We had
Yeah, man.
share some good memories.
What
Yeah,
happened? I
True
was
arcade
sober
stories.
tonight. So.
yeah, some true arcade stories.
Match you.
We need to have a full arcade podcast. Just come on, Leole, man, let's go crazy.
Bring out the Twitch, bring out Bigger, bring out
Yeah.
That podcast might end, you know.
if that podcast might that go end up like I sweat up like I sweat after and what is
Yeah,
called
we are
this in St.
fighting.
James?
Nah, we have man,
Like
That
it
might
did it,
end up in a
that after
cold
talk
war, boy.
after sweat talk after and
Yeah, boy. There's somebody.
yeah, and Max it go end up just like that.
Might end up like that Overwatch game we was playing the other night.
yeah, but give it over all. Yes, so thanks, people.
Thanks very much for you all having me tonight. I know.
Yeah.
I mean, this forum is new to me.
Mm.
You know, it was nice. It was nice. Having my little 2 cents and thing.
Yep.
You know. But,
I'll call on you again to come on some other time. Don't worry.
yeah, man. No problem. Anytime, man.
Yeah.
Once there's a wrong one sign working and thing.
Yeah.
Calling and do this thing.
See, and you didn't even know if you'd have any contribution today.
Yeah, boy. Look at that,
You got a
boy.
lot to say.
Yeah, I tell her. I tell
Yeah,
her
boy.
to enjoy yourself.
Yeah, man. True. It was
All
nice,
right.
man. It was nice.
All right. Thanks, everybody. See you all Sunday if you're coming out.
Yeah, man.
Of course. All
No
right, guys.
problem,
Thanks
man.
for
Good
having me.
night, everybody.
Same to you.
Yeah,
All right,
Gruff.
guys.
Take me off the air now. Out.